Well, it is all over in Love Stars. Mamelodi Sundowns 2, Royal AM 1. We saw a very early goal from Usphelele Mkhulisi that came from a mistake that happened emuva goalkeeper no Makeba. And as a result, Mkhulisi was able to capitalize on that, and Sundowns was leading at a very early stage of the game within 6 minutes. So we saw a very interesting game, which then puts Mamelodi Sundowns back on top of the log, and Sundowns ibhekene kanje ne-Orlando Pirates ukuthi ubani ke uzogcina ibambile ize yofika ekugcineni nama ngazi. But ngikwaziyo, this is my views, my expressions. Mawukuthi aqala ukusijoyina namhlanje, please do subscribe, share, utshele nabanye ukuthi sikhona. Mina ngumfana kaMnikathi ukhaphela ugcotha ujama nomaqoqo ngomele ehlangene, angihambi ngedwa as usually. Ngiphethe umfana nolwazi. Msayipose.
Good evening, Mzansi. This is Sipho Mapumulo on my views, my expressions. We are doing a review of Mamelodi Sundowns versus Royal AM at Loftus Versfeld Stadium, match day 4.
Loftus what?
Loftus Versfeld Stadium.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Match day 4. It's 4 wins from 4 games for Sundowns.
Yeah, it was the same with Orlando Pirates as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that even yesterday, but you were very skeptical on saying that. 4 wins, 4 games, 4 games, 4 wins.
4 wins, 4 games for Sundowns and Pirates, yeah. And yeah, it's a good start for both teams.
It's a very competitive league.
It's a good start for both teams.
Okay. Thank you. Well, listen, man. I felt like the game was one-sided. More especially first half, I was only watching Mamelodi Sundowns, and I think they could have scored more goals than the only one that I got on the first half. I saw so many errors from the players like Ribeiro, Divine Lunga, and of which on the second half such were rectified, but ngasekupheleni komdlalo after 95 minutes umdlalo usuzophela, I saw Royal AM coming back, more especially after they got a goal.
Yeah.
So they came very hard, and in Kumbuza, something that was once said by coach Rulano, we did not lose, we ran out of time. Was it Rulano or Pete?
Yeah, it was
we ran out of time. So the manner in which I was seeing Royal AM coming to Sundowns, it was quite interesting to see ukuthi uzophela kanjani. Otherwise, wena uyibone kanjani game?
Yeah, I think Sundowns namhlanje didn't show much hunger. Yabo, njengoba usho, they had control of the ball most of the time, but in terms of showing hunger and being offensive and the manner in which they confronted the Royal AM, they were not very aggressive. They didn't have much box entries and maybe shortest goal, but they did have the ball, but they were not using it very effectively, which gave Royal AM ithuba lokuthi even believe maybe they could get something from the game. Yeah. And the early goal that came, we thought maybe Sundowns is going to be those days where Sundowns will just walk over the opponent, because they got that goal very early, and after that they didn't have a lot of box entries and shortest goal. They were just keeping the ball around and making silly mistakes around the 18 area, losing the ball very cheaply, which would give Royal AM an opportunity to try and do counter attacks, which fortunately they were not very successful. And then we only saw the second goal from Sundowns coming very late from Umtao, which I thought maybe it was time when Sundowns had to close the books. And after that, we saw a lot of substitutions, which I think Mabena, I think they did very well. You could see Sundowns became lively. But lababanye about 3, I think Opas, Umtunyelwa, and who else? But we were 3 abangene lapho Kutwana. I think they didn't get time to gel into a game, and then lapse of
but they came very late. It was 1987.
Yeah, it was too late. And then lapse of concentration from a set piece. Divine Lunga again. I don't know why he doesn't jump or try to flick the ball near the two opponent, they had the ball home.
But uqumile fanele andizeni manje umchitha.
But he's
Uqumile.
he's one of our tallest players at the team.
You said the ball was very high for him.
But for your opponent, but I don't want us to dwell on that because
I want us to do.
Why?
Why umchitha aphenduke imvu emhlatshelo?
Not really.
It was a goal. We considered.
Yeah, but I believe
Not his fault.
I believe he should have done better.
Okay, well, Makeba, from the mistake ayenzile on the first half, he was able to then from that goal from the header. Because the goal came from a corner and then he was able to head, and then no clean sheet for Williams today. Yeah,
I think I know how serious he takes Indaba clean sheets.
Yeah.
And I think today was not one of those days for him, unfortunately. He didn't have a lot of saves to do today. I don't think he was ever tested. He was never tested until Royal visited him with a goal.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to beat himself up tonight.
But they did hit like four shots on target.
But not really like big saves from him. He was not confronted that much.
Yeah. Well, what I saw today, from as far as Sundowns is concerned, was the changes in respect of the lineup.
Yeah.
You remember in the past 3 days we've been seeing this front three, Ribeiro, Reyners and Matthews.
Yeah.
And Matthews was not in today and Reyners was not in, but we saw Shalulile and Lodge at the game. We do saw that front three, but it was different because it was only Ribeiro that we always see from the front, the normal front three.
Yeah. I think we are going to see these type of changes, but I'm very concerned if when they happen, this performance doesn't seem to be consistent. I think the technical team needs to work very hard in making sure that whenever they change the lineup, it doesn't affect the fluidity of their game.
Yeah.
And today, game by car and Ribeiro now the tendency you catch a game. And today was one of those games. I think he was not very interested to play today. The way he was doing things, he lost the ball very cheaply, and he was not like when I communicate bapambil.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe he was going to be substituted earlier than he did, but they have to work on those. We can't have players that maybe seemingly don't take some games serious. I'm not sure if he actually game win, but what I saw was not the Ribeiro that I'm used to.
Sure. So we rally and we saw that very early substitution where Olomchita Elimala and then Kwafaga Tigaz.
Yeah.
Tigaz came into the game and he was very, very effective.
Yeah.
And I said, Nimone Benchi, I saw Mangoba Hambe Mbingelela, and then when they were shaking hands and then he spoke to him, like he took some time to speak to him rather than Abanyama players. And then I even said, hey, because I know how effective he is when he gets in the field. And then he gets in today, he do exactly the same thing that we know him for.
Yeah, he's a very good player. And I don't know how John Matu didn't start him. Maybe he preferred other players over him. But I think Umfundo Tigaz in previous seasons used to come on as a sub, and now I believe he's a good player to start games. And you saw what happened when he was introduced. He kept our defense very busy.
Yeah.
Although he didn't have much of shots on targets, but whenever he had the ball, he was very dangerous and very intimidating to Sundowns defense.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then the substitutions from Mamelodi Sundowns, and then we see Umfana comes in. Many people were worried. Umchita, I told game time on the senior team. And then I'm a peers from Kaizer Chiefs side, from Orlando Pirates side, Abo Vilagazi, Abo Mofokeng. They're getting game time in their senior team. But with the Sundowns, rather he is always as a fago with MTC ayodlala khona. But namhlanje he came in and then he put up his hand and he said, hey, I'm here, man. I want to be here all the time.
Yeah, I think he had a good game, but well, people will always talk. But I think this has been Mabena's very busy year this year.
Sure.
Although he was not playing at Sundowns at senior level, but UMDC is one of the very important players. And
national team
under 20 is one of the very important players.
Yeah.
And he's still maybe in the way he call and I makes effects. And the most important point which I would make, you can't compare him with Chiefs and the Pirates. You see Chiefs has a lack of a lot of players. Like Itef is not very big. So they always try and use some players like Asuibe now. And in Tuana Chiefs have showed with banally talent, hence they are getting opportunities. So very I saw the fan game time as it's all about Mom Christian Sandabajal Chiefs now with Sundowns and maybe now with Pirates because Uratomo he raises his hand. The Pirates didn't have much depth there so with Sundowns there's that stiff competition, but I think I'm happy with the game time because he needs to manage him as much as Mfaga because we still have very similar or same quality ikakakutlwana ubadlalisa rotation kanje yabo maybe kule game udlala omunye kule game udlala omunye yabo. So there are many factors that determine ukuthi uzothola game time engakanani ku senior team uMabena. But for now I'm happy ngendlela abamanager ngayo including uKutlwana.
Sure, it is very unfortunate because people will always compare. Yeah, you can't compare, but people do.
Yeah, they will.
But they know they are of the same age, and if the others are playing, most of the time, why is he not playing in his team? But I get you.
Yeah.
And then captain, jazz number 10, chairman, all titles. As I said,
hence we saw a balanced Royal AM today.
What are you talking about? They've been playing, they were balanced. It's not about him.
They looked like a proper team today. There wasn't a position.
They scored a goal. In the previous games, they didn't even score a goal. But now, the thing is, Andile. You know Andile when he comes in? Andile when he comes in the center, there is something that he provides. Most especially those killer passes when he will do this thing. Those passes, you may laugh, but those passes they irritate other players, and they're often out. They're opted out of the game. As a result, everyone will capitalize from there. That's why he keeps playing him.
Is he genuine in his comments?
Oh,
John Mato about who I did.
Yes, he is.
Jeez.
He always say, I've been seeing him training, and then he's coming very well. So moving forward, he's going to be a very effective player.
But you expected Adils would play against Sundowns?
Yeah, I expected any player to play.
Okay.
And Andile to be specific, because I know what he can bring to Royal AM.
Okay, hard luck to him for not playing today. Maybe it was coach's game plan. Because We'll definitely see him against the Kaizer Chiefs. Yeah.
We'll definitely see him against Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, it's inside.
Yeah, it's still 80 days. Well, but first of all, that's just about it. This is my views, my expressions. Subscribe, please do subscribe. Putuma and share as my views, my expressions. From me now, boom, we out of here.
That's bon.